Good day everyone, my name is Todd Standing. Thank you very much for tuning into my Sasquatch Sunday video. This is such an important video. I have expeditors that have been waiting for this video because a tremendous epiphany happened to me when I went to the Olympic Peninsula, Nia Bay specifically in Washington State. Had an incredible live interaction with Sasquatch, met some amazing people. Some incredible stuff has been going on there since. But the reason for my journey there was I had an incredible lesson to learn. And I'm going to tell you about it today. So what happened is, the expeditioners know about this. I was learning and talking for many years. I've told these, talked about these experiences that I've had, and it all kind of came together so perfectly. So this is, I'll tell you, you might have heard this before. So as an example, I remember many years ago, I was in Sasquatch habitat, really hot, amazing, fantastic Sasquatch habitat. The area where I've filmed video 4 and 5, 6, and so on. My best videos, arguably, are out of the radium area. So I wasn't having particularly good success with Sasquatch. But what happened was, now you got to listen to the details of this because this is very important. So I remember seeing a grizzly bear, a sow grizzly bear, and she was walking away from me. She had her back turned to me. And she didn't look anything, there wasn't anything special about her at all. So she didn't have the wind gauge, she couldn't pick up my scent. Normally, I just walk away. But I had this thing cue in my head, get up a tree. And I literally am not the kind of guy, like I'm very calm, very serene. I stand my ground, I don't panic. I literally flipped out and climbed that tree. I remember like cutting my arms, ripping myself up this tree. By the time I got just up to a safe enough area, that bear had come charging at me and was literally snapping at me. Like I remember her jaws going snap, snap, like slobber was hitting the tree. She was irate. And I realized when I got up that tree, I would have never survived that. I was so far away from civilization, she'd have torn me to shreds. There's just no way. I had bear spray at the time and a bear banger, which would have been futile against a bear raging like that, so violent. And remember, I saw nothing in her from myself. So fast forward, let's talk about another story. I'll tell you about, so I was on an expedition and it was October-ish, and what happened was I went out too far and it snowed. So I'm not eating, I don't have enough water. I've gone out into Sasquatch habitat too far and it snowed 3 feet. So what happened was on the way back, not having enough food in me, being completely exhausted, walking through 3 feet of snow, if you don't know, I'm telling you, it's brutal. It's like if you're walking 5 kilometers, you might as well be walking 30. It literally adds so much extra effort to getting home. So cold, also it got extra cold. I was hypothermic. I literally laid down to die. 1 mountain away from where I knew my ride was down there to pick me up. I literally laid down, exhausted with no power in my body, going, my legs literally won't function anymore. I'm completely frozen and hypothermic. I laid down to die. About half an hour later, I felt a warming sensation come into my body, and I heard this voice say, get up, get up. And for some reason, I simply had a power to get up. So I got up, and I actually felt this, literally a warming sensation, like a power come over me. Are you feeling me on this? This is not supposed to happen. This doesn't just happen. You don't just get warm. You don't just hear a voice to get up. And at the time I thought, you know, this is a real wonderful spiritual experience. I'm being guided. Maybe there's my guardian angels after watching over me. Maybe that's who told me to get up the tree. I literally, my body warmed and I walked over that mountain, went down, remember seeing my truck there idling as my pickup was there. And obviously I was hypothermic, and it took, you know, it was a dangerous situation. It took a day or two to warm me up, and it was kind of an emergency situation for my family, but I survived. Let's do one more before I get into the pinnacle that'll bring all this together. So I remember being on an expedition out in Sasquatch country, primo amazing Sasquatch country. There are Sasquatch out there. I'm walking home, and I literally, for some reason, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I feel like I've failed, I haven't had any interactions, no footage. It feels like kind of a failed expedition. So I'm gonna walk straight home. No, you're not going straight home. You're going around to the other mountain. You're going the long way home. I remember going, but I wanna, nope, I'm going around, and I'm going to go the long way home. Why the hell would I go the long way home? I'm telling you, I had no desire to go the long way home. But I happily, for some reason, something got in my head, go the long way around. So I went the long way around, went and spent the night up on a mountain I'd never been, saw nothing of significant, and the mountain that I normally go home through fell. It collapsed. Like, I woke up to this rumbling sound, and I looked over the mountain, and the base camp area, that's like day one base camp into the bush, was forever gone. I remember looking and going, man, if I had spent the night on that mountain, nobody would have ever found my body. I remember telling that to my pickup as I got picked up. I arrived about 3 hours late, even pushing it a little bit. What made me go around? What made me climb that tree? What gave me the energy to go up? Fast forward to Nia Bay. Expeditioners are talking to me about it. And there's something more to this story. It's not a guardian angel. So listen to this. This is a story a young woman told me who was a student of the Nia Bay High School, the particular high school they have here in Nia Bay. And I'll tell you, the people there in Nia Bay, they're Sasquatch knowers. They know Sasquatch are real. They interact with Sasquatch. They have a history of interacting with Sasquatch and mind speaking with Sasquatch. So let me tell you the first story that Brian from Nia Bay told me. Told me about how a long time ago they had smokehouses. Long time ago. I don't know how far ago it was, but in their beginning relationship with Sasquatch, they had smokehouses for salmon. And what the Sasquatch would do is at night they would take a young Sasquatch and drop him through the smoke hole top, and then he'd pick the salmon out and take it. Well, one day the young Sasquatch couldn't get out. So when they got up in the morning, the elders were there and the Sasquatch was there. They opened the door, and then the elders realized that the Sasquatch had been taking their salmon. So the elders communicated, and this was the first oral history that I've heard of, and that Brian from Nia Bay has heard of, where they made a deal with the Sasquatch to give them salmon and gift them salmon and share the salmon with them, so there'd be abundance for both. So there'd be that gifting and that sharing between the two of them. But how did they communicate? And the way they communicated was through mind speaking, not through any other way other than mind speaking. So now the last story that brought it all together for me is, again, this young woman came from me from Nia Bay High School. She told me a story should all the children know from Nia Bay High School. So apparently, some time ago, there were these bullies, 3 bullies I think it is, that were picking on people, and they were just big jerks. And one day, this one boy had had enough, and he just went up into the mountains, and the Sasquatch communicated with him. They mind spoke to him, and they told him, they empowered him to go back and whoop those bullies' butts. They gave him a specific power, and he went down, he went back, and he went down and he handled those bullies. He kicked their asses with the special power that the Sasquatch endowed upon them. And they know this story. And I started thinking, man, let me think for a second. I'm a Sasquatch researcher. I'm in Sasquatch habitat, and I get the burning desire to run up a tree that literally saved my life. I'm a Sasquatch researcher, and I'm in Sasquatch habitat. I lay down to die, and something warms my body, empowers me to stand up and go and survive. I'm in Sasquatch country, Sasquatch habitat, and I'm going home the same way I always go home. And for some reason, something tells me to go around. There's something wrong with going that way, and it literally saved my life. I can think of half a dozen other times that this has happened in my life. I don't think it's some kind of guardian angel. I am convinced at this point, from what I've learned from other people and from the native people in Nia Bay, that the Sasquatch literally have the power to empower you and to mind speak with you, and to even potentially, like, this is like Jedi mind trick stuff, right? You want to go that way? No, you don't. You go this way. You're safe and comfortable? No. Get up that tree. Get up that tree and you will survive. So I'd like to hear from others of you in the comments below, and even through our email address, bigfootencounter@gmail.com, that we are answering and we're going through regularly now. We have Caitlin Wise doing that. We have a podcast show coming with Caitlin and Kyle. So lots of amazing, incredible stuff coming right away. But I'd love to hear your perspectives on this. So, because at this point in my life, as amazing as the journey was to Nia Bay, I feel like that was what I was supposed to learn. That's what I was meant to do. And it's really taken this research to a whole nother level, because I know the Sasquatch are empaths. I know they're amazing. I know they do incredible things. They're just they're my teachers. I admire them. I have an absolute reverence of them, and I've seen things and experienced deep spiritual connection in nature, in the wilderness, in so many beautiful ways, and I've come to accept that those mind speaking incidents, those moments when I was literally, even the tree that I climbed, people, I don't think I could climb that tree normally. I was literally adrenalized, empowered to get up there. You know, and you hear stories about that where people just do it to themselves. A mother lifts a dishwasher and rips it out of the house to save a child. These abilities where people empower themselves. Is it not possible for another being to empower us, to adrenalize us? And the answer is, I believe it is at this point. I've experienced stuff like that. I could go on all day with multiple different. I'm at home going, man, that happened, this happened, all that time. It was the Sasquatch. Was it the Sasquatch? Because I believe it was, and I'm very convinced of that, and I have more substantiating evidence to prove those things are going on, and I'll talk about that another day. But yeah, I'd love to hear your comments. I think that's pretty heavy stuff. It's pretty deep, spiritual, heavy stuff. For those of you who are the John Bitternagel scientifically minded, please, let's go on a journey. Let's try to look into this, because even John Bitternagel knows, the late great John Bitternagel knows, as much as he's tight with science and he loves the foundation of science and truth and the mathematics of things, there's more going on here with this discovery. And we need to know and understand that, because that's what Jane Goodall has to say. The amazing, incredible Jane Goodall, who is a hero of mine, who is one of the most incredible human beings that has ever lived, in my opinion, an absolute incredible saint woman that's done amazing things, would agree with me on that. And I'll tell you, because I've heard her talk about her spirituality and her connections, and she is amazing and connected like that, where it took more than science to push the discoveries that she precipitated in her lifetime. And there's a lot going on here, guys. Telepathy is real. So where does it end? And if you don't think telepathy is real, you're living in the dark ages now. Universities study it. This is all real. Third eye stuff is still maybe a little paranormal, but telepathy is real. Extrasensory perception is real. Empathic abilities to feel into other people is real. But where's the line? Is there a line? Could you adrenalize someone? Could you empower someone? Could you push something into someone's mind so powerfully that they walk a different direction? And since I am a man who's sitting here telling you that I've experienced that, my answer is yes. So I'd love to hear your comments and questions below. This is our discovery process for these incredible beings, commonly known as Bigfoot, referred to by me with respect as Sasquatch. These are my teachers. So I appreciate your comments below. And if you have a story to tell of any kind, please, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. And we'll have my live show on Wednesday. Lots of cool stuff coming. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.